The Weekend Podcast on Vox Markets with Justin, Peter and Steve. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.
Welcome to The Weekend Podcast. I'm joined by Paddy, Peter and Steve. It's cold, isn't it, eh?
Yeah, how many questions? Yes, I'm okay, and yes, it's cold.
There's two questions. Is it cold? It's literally ice out there. A dog went outside. She likes the cold bowl outside, water, and she didn't understand because it was solid. She's just licking the ice, looking up at me. What is this? She just didn't understand at all. But here we are. And I got to say, Pad, I know you've had a love-hate relationship with Powerhouse Energy, which is, it's 20 bagged or something ridiculous, isn't it? But I did a webinar with them. Lots of people on the call, hundreds and hundreds of people on the call, live webinar. And we have a problem with our kids in Fortnite. We can't get them off it. They're always in the middle of a game. We say, right, boys, 10 minutes. I'm in the middle of a game. I don't care. 10 minutes when you come off. Then 10 minutes comes, then I'm in the middle of a game. They're always in the middle of a game. And of course they are, right in the middle of a game, And so we got to the stage now where our solution to this is we give them 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then we just literally pull the wire at the back of our router. That's it. And and we can hear, Dad! Oh no, stop. I said, Dad, have you turned the internet off? Yes, I have. Yes. That's the way forward. And so, anyway,
you can do this with apps now.
But don't worry about that. I don't do that. The easiest way is just get the hard wire, pull it out. So I was chatting to the guys, the question and answers, the chairman, Tim Yeo, and David Ryan, the CEO of Powerhouse Energy. And I asked the last question there, and I said, guys, I said, I've always said previously, it's like alchemy. You've got dirty waste that no one wants. In fact, people charge you to take it away. You can take that, you can change it into clean energy that people want. That is alchemy. It sounds amazing, but commercially, is the potential huge here? And I looked at them on the webinar, and they just stared at me. I thought, why are they staring at me? Didn't they understand the question or what? I said, guys, and then they just stopped. They said, oh, obviously the potential is so big, it's blown the internet. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully we'll get them back in a second. And I said, this was going to be the last question, but submit a few questions. And I was, trying to pad out a bit, because there's hundreds of people watching. And I said to the missus, I texted the missus, I said, get the kids off Fortnite, because I think they've crashed the internet or something. And so my text didn't send. It was on WhatsApp. So I run in there, said, what's going on? She said, I pulled the internet out. I said, what? I was in the middle of a webinar. I'm streaming live. She said, get the kids off.
You were hosting the webinar?
Yeah, I was hosting. I said, yeah. I said,
you kept that quiet.
I said, I'm streaming it live. What's going on?
Were you invited?
What?
Yeah, why didn't you tell us about this before?
I know.
Yeah.
And,
we're not fair shareholders.
But luckily, looking back on it, the timing was good, because they heard the end of my question and they started their answer, and that's when I froze. So literally perfect timing. And then you'll see the video if you look back on it. I disappear. The guy in charge of doing the technical side of it took me out of it and just put them on the split screens. And then I managed to, you plug a router in, it takes ages to boot back up. Yeah. So we do that. And by the time I came back on, I was back to there. It was a bit more redder face, because I was running around. I said, put it back on! And you can see my face is a bit redder at the end. And I tried to think, well, thanks, guys.
And then you actually managed to finish the webinar?
Yeah.
That's excellent.
I did this on the radio once. The same thing happened to me on, I was doing some sports reports on one radio station, and as I was talking, another radio station took control of me and started asking me other questions. But I was live on both stations at the same time. So on the station that I'd been on initially, they kept on asking me questions when I stopped talking, but I was answering the other person's question. So I sounded like an absolute fruitcake. I was just laughing and giggling to myself about nothing.
Yeah, why?
Did it not sound odd that you were asking? The questions seemed a bit odd compared to the other one you were asking, or did you not pick up on that?
Oh, I knew what had happened. I knew that I'd been taken by the other station, but I had no way of knowing what the other station had done. They just carried on. And they kept on asking me questions. My answers got more and more strange. Started laughing about stuff that they hadn't asked me about. It was very weird.
Yeah, let's not go with Paddy again. I think he's on drugs.
Doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. That was like then. Who was that guy? Remember sport? One more thing here before we get this. Cheers. Sport. Mark someone, and he was on delay once, and he sounded like his brain had melted. He sounded like he had a stroke on live on air. Yeah. Delay going on his head, and he goes, I said, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with the guy? And it sounded really odd. But that was what's his name? Pad? Mark, was it?
Mark Scott, he's on Match of the Day now. He's a big deal. But if you're talking and you get yourself back in your headphones half a second later, you try and catch up with your voice, and it just makes you sound like you're having a stroke.
Okay, so boys, what do you think of the vaccine programme? It's going well, isn't it? Hey,
they're doing all right, aren't they?
Paddy, I mean, you're anti-conservative. I mean, I understand that you hate the Conservatives, but you've got to admit it's going quite well, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I still think it could have gone better, but
What?
We'll take it.
How is it could have gone better? It's done the best in the world, pretty much. Fastest roller. I mean, there's Israelis and the UAE. Okay, here's a quick quiz, then, boys. Here we go. Ready? Okay, Steve, how many people have been vaccinated in the UK?
5.5 million.
It'll do. Yeah, that's the first and second dose. Yes. Okay. Pete, one for you. In how many adults, as a ratio of 10, have been vaccinated in the UK now?
What's a ratio of 10? What do you mean?
As in what?
How many percent?
Percent. Yeah. How many?
Okay, a ratio
percent. Yes. Percent.
That's an odd way of putting it. Okay, what percentage of adults?
Stop googling it. You're googling it. Hang on a second. Type it away. Hang on. What did you say? Are you after percentages?
That was a badly answered question.
No.
Badly answered question.
15%?
Was 1 in 10, 10%. 1 in 10 people in the UK.
10%,
Yes. So, how many a minute is that, Pad? Jabs per minute we've done in the last week?
160.
It's 285 jabs per minute.
Right.
How many sites? How many sites? How many sites? Hang on a second. How many sites, Steve? Steve, how many sites are now vaccinating people?
1,200.
Yes. You got the answers there, haven't you?
Just watch the news, mate.
Okay. Listen. Okay. Give me in the Europe, right? Tell me who we are. We are 5.38 million, pretty much. Who's second in Europe?
Denmark.
No.
As in a percentage of, or in total?
As in people. As in people vaccinated. We're vaccinating people. It's a clue. We're vaccinated. We're putting jabs in people's arms.
Ireland? Yeah. Bulgaria?
We are putting lots of shiny needles in people's arms.
Oh, Poland.
Germany, second one. But look at that, Germany, right? This is the pinnacle of efficiency. 1.32 million compared to our 5.38 million. Italy, 1.26. Spain, just over 1 million. France, they're not even at the million mark yet, 823,000, because they're very anti-vaccine.
It's not like for like, though, is it? We all started at different times, so...
But we all got the virus at the same time, pretty much. What do you mean? We all got the vaccines. Yeah, but
they got approved after, didn't they?
Yeah, but do you know why they got approved after? Because the European Medical Council dragging their long, furry feet, arms and hair, whatever they're doing, it took so much time. That makes
Brexit all so much better, doesn't it?
Exactly. Over 400,000 people. In fact, yesterday was the first day ever we went above the average needed to hit the target of 15 million at mid-Feb. That's very good. How do you think it could have gone better, Pat? What have you done?
Well, there's a mistake to make it that just to go brilliant. They've done a great job. You can still question it. They could have hit the ground running. We could have been where we are now right at the start, and there's no reason why we couldn't have been. Having 1,200 sites online, that could have been from the very first day if they wanted to. It's great that we are where we are.
Surely until you get it, you can't sort of practice with a million people and just pretending. You've got to do when it's coming, can't you? Because people have to take time off work.
It's just logistics, isn't it? It's just logistics. It's just getting people and stuff to places is what we do for lots of other things. If we can get cauliflowers into every supermarket, we can get vaccines into every pharmacy.
I don't think the same. Cauliflowers don't have to be stored at -70, do they? And don't have to be injected into people's arms with it's not health and safety with cauliflowers.
You don't inject cauliflower.
Paddy does.
Well, have you tried it?
Yeah. I'm on the cauliflower, man. Oh, yeah. I'm on the broccoli. I like the parsnips.
Is that what I sound like?
Yeah. Apparently.
Okay, here's the thing then, right? This is the thing, right? And here's the thing here, right? Give me then, right? Anyone, first one closest, right? Hospital admissions, that's the figure we need to cut for the economy. People can say herd immunity. Don't worry about herd immunity. Most of us don't need to be vaccinated. It's like the flu, The people who need to be vaccinated can die from the flu if they're not. Same as that. And most of the people don't. So of the hospital admissions, about 4,000 at the moment per day going to the NHS. It's still overwhelmed there. And that has to come down to unlock the economy, of course. What percentage do you think people above the age of 65 make up that 4,000? What percentage of those a day make up that 4,000?
85%.
Peter, 85% received. Anyone else? Higher, lower? Who's higher?
I don't know the relevance. 73%.
73% above 65? No. Yeah, higher. Paddy?
Higher.
Higher? You're right.
Higher.
Yeah, no.
That's his guess.
I'm after a number, Paddy.
Whatever Steve said, but higher.
Right, what did you say, Steve?
85.
85. How high that? Give us a number, Pad.
86.
Higher. Steve?
90.
It is 90%. So 90%. Do the math on that. 4,000 people going in. 90% of the people going into hospital are above 65 years of age. That makes up 12 million people. So by mid-Feb, we're doing with 15 million people. Take out that 90% being hospitalised, hopefully, well, say the percentage rate, so not as much as 90% because efficacy is not 100%. So, but that would do it, wouldn't it? That would do it. So surely mid-Feb, even before that now, we're going to get there. 2 weeks after vaccination kicks in.
One of the big problems, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and then unlock!
But I think it's a mistake to say that it's like either hospital admissions or the economy. Like there's still a bit in the middle where if like 25% of your workforce are off sick with the flu or COVID or long COVID, then that's still really detrimental to the economy. But yeah, it's certainly...
Yes, but you can still get, but better than where we are now. Even if someone's off with COVID, then that's going to happen. But we've got to start getting it going, haven't we?
But then it's the same with the NHS, isn't it? Like their whole family has to isolate for 10 days. Like it's a big chunk of the population not in active duty.
Yeah. But I think honestly, I was looking at hospital admissions. They've topped out. I think they've stopped going up. They're going sideways. They bumbled down. A couple of days have gone below the moving average. So I think we're going to see next couple of weeks now, because it takes a couple of weeks to kick in, we're going to start seeing that coming down, hopefully, relieve the stress on the NHS. We need to get down to about below 1,000. Once you start that, I think we're unlocking. Thing is, I've heard people saying we're not going to unlock until summer. And I thought, we're just stupid. Because first of all, it's costing the government so much money, we'll be bust. But I just think we'll come out of lockdown, I think, end of Feb, less than a month left, you reckon? March? What do you reckon? Let's put a date on it, boys. Let's gamble. Let's put a bit of money on it. It's a bit of fun, yeah? Give us a date, Steve, when we unlocking, when we saying, right, unlock!
Well, last night in the news, though, Matt Hancock was saying, it was a video leaked of him saying the South African variant might not work with the new vaccine, which is quite concerning, really, isn't it?
Well, that's what Patrick Vallance said. So
anyway, I
think it will still work. It just won't work as well.
Well, no, they're saying it won't. Like he said, it potentially won't work. That's
Matt Hancock. Do you believe half of what he said? He said vitamin D has no. He said that on telly in the House of Commons. He said, no, we've looked at vitamin. He said actually they've tested it. Vitamin D. Turns out vitamin D, it seems, can prevent being sort of complications, because let's say that's why a lot of black, African and all sort of ethnic minorities are suffering at the moment, because the vitamin D element, because they obviously is an issue. And so there's studies have been conducted now saying, and that now the NHS are actually giving out vitamin D. So they're saying, no, vitamin D has a lot to do with it. So yeah, I don't really believe Hancock. So anyway, Steve, you look at politicians' answer there. Give us a date, yeah?
Okay. I'm going to say end of March.
Give us a date, Steve. End of March 30. Was it March? What? How many days? January, February.
Well, I don't know. Whatever the last day is.
31st of March. Yeah. Okay. Pad. What do you say? What do you say?
What's the question?
This is when will we unlock? And this will be unlocked in a tiered system. This is from this current lockdown. Give us a date. Unlock. Steve. 31st.
1st of June.
What? You look on the negative side, Pad. Come on.
I know. I think we just got to do this properly. We can't go in and out all the time. It's not working. Like they've got to actually just like
we got a vaccine now.
Do it properly.
We got a vaccine now.
It's not a magic bullet.
No. Also, it's not going to be this unlock thing like you're saying. Today is unlock. It's not. It's going to be a phased approach.
They will. Boris will come into Parliament, trying to stand there, and he'll say, "Ladies and gentlemen, unlock!" You go, "Whoa, yeah!" And everyone throw their hats in the air. That's and their wigs and stuff. All right, Pete, come on. Announcement of an unlocking. What do you reckon? Give us a date. Steve's got 31st of March. What?
An announcement of when the unlocking is, or when
not the announcement. No, the date they'll say
so.
We're going to look at we looked at the figures and it's looking cracking, and we're going to start a tiered system on. They say, well, Steve reckons the 31st of March, Paddington's 1st of June. What do you reckon?
12th of June.
12th of June. It's a good call. 12th of June? Are you kidding?
Yeah. No.
Okay, I'm going to say, when is half term for kids?
February the 20th.
February.
August.
February the what?
February the August.
So I say after half term. No, I'm going to say 1st of March. I'm going to say 15th of March. I'm going to say.
Are we going to talk about stocks and shares?
Yes, sorry. This is related though, because let's be honest, it affects the economy. Yeah. And even though the economy's rallying, it plays crazy in certain parts. Are you worried about that? Are you worried about because I've seen a lot of people say, well, Steve said on the WhatsApp group, he said, seems like my portfolio is at an all-time high every week, and I said that's a bit worrying. Because it's the old, everyone's in fact, Paul Hill.
This reminds me of a story about
go on.
Shine boy.
Oh, yeah, what is that about?
What happened?
What happened?
So Warren Buffett was having his shoe shine.
Warren Buffett! This is how stories evolve.
Hold on, this might be a different story. Go, Pat.
The shoe shine boy said to Warren Buffett, should I buy some Bitcoin?
Yeah.
And Warren Buffett said no.
Yeah, he said,
What's the moral of that story?
he said yes, it's going to the moon, fella. And then Buffett went back to his caravan, and it's a very expensive caravan, and he sold all his Bitcoinage. And but another good saying is when everyone's on one side of the boat, it's not good, is it? The boat tips up. That's what I'm saying. So that's why everyone's long.
Okay.
Does that say?
Well, it's the same by somebody, I think. Well, I just said it. But Paul Hill said on the weekend, on the podcast on Friday, and he attributed it to an investor. When everyone's on one side of the boat, it tends to tip up. And that's the trouble. Everyone's bullish at the moment. Everyone's in. And there's no more to buy. So it's like did I say, my father called the top of Bitcoin. He called up and said, Josh, should I buy some Bitcoin? I said, Dad, the fact that you're calling me, you can't even get on the internet pretty much, and you're asking to buy Bitcoin, suggests to me we're not far off a top here.
What's he saying about the stock market?
Yeah, Bitcoin's fallen by 23% since he's made that call. So that's exactly what you do, and that's why I say when you see on the stock markets, the mainstream media, when you see it on the news at 10 or 9, whichever channel you're looking at.
Whatever time you're watching the news.
Yeah. Because now it's rolling news. So when they say the stock market has been sold off and lost billions of pounds, people have lost their pants, socks, and shirts. When you see that, that's a good time generally to.
So what is this? Is this just our portfolios because we've got some great advice, or is this true of everyone? What's it down to?
Well, listen, there are lots of companies rallying. It's a lot of resource companies. Some of them are trash, absolute trash. They really are lifestyle companies for the board. I've doubled, but they're pop and drops. See, pop and drops. That's the trouble. You don't want pop and drops. For a while back, evolved away from the pop and drop stocks to more sustainable rising stocks that generate real value, which is cash over the long term. Because you can pop and drop all day long, and you can earn money off it if you're a trader. But you wanted the hassle of having to try and time it right and getting it wrong, and then you can't put too much money in anyway.
Yeah. But do you think that the stocks that we're in are not pop and drops? But
no, that's the whole thing. I said.
So why do you say that you're worried about our?
No, you don't. Exactly. Do you know what? This is the third. I've been now through 3 big recessions. Right. I was involved in the .com bubble pop, the Great Financial Crisis, and the vaccine pandemic or the COVID pandemic thing. And every time I've done better afterwards anyway. And like I said, so if you're in good stocks that generate value over time, I wouldn't worry. When it's come to, where you should be worried is if you are overexposed to a certain sector, like the resource sector, where the company has, no revenue coming in, they'll need to raise money sometime, when that's, I think we'll have a correction. I think the correction will be when the unlock happens. We've been rallying towards that. We climb a wall of worry, and then all of a sudden, the economy's open. And I think then we realise, hang on a sec. It's like, you know what it's like? I'm thinking this analogy through off the top of my head as I'm talking about it, right?
Oh, this will be good.
Yeah, bear with me, guys, okay?
Gather around, everybody.
Yeah, it's like, having the threat of a nuclear war, right? And so you all rush to the bunkers. You all rush to the bunkers and all that stuff, and then the war and things are going over, and you all go in your bunkers downstairs, and you're all smoking fags and singing Cockney songs, Mother Brown, and all that stuff. In fact, the World War, and then you realise that the sirens gone, the bombs are gone off. Hang on. So we know now, in say next couple of hours, we can come out of our bunkers. Everyone's getting excited. They're singing more songs. Come on, cups of tea, smoking fags, and then you go upstairs then, and you see basically. Your neighbourhood has been levelled to the floor, erased to the floor, it's been blown up to the bar. That's what I think it's going to be like. So we're all looking good. I mean, it's not going to be that bad, of course. I've really overgone. But what I'm saying is the economy is not just get back to normal. No. It needs a bit of repairs, a bit more debt there. It's a bit war-torn, isn't it? It's a bit, taking a bit of flack there. So
okay, but I don't really get that analogy. But okay, to take Steve's point, I think what he was trying to say was like, so you're coming out of your bunker after that. Like, why would, pick a stock, Gfinity be affected, radically because of the economy being unlocked? Because everyone's going to stop playing esports now, and everyone's going to go out and play in the park instead.
No, I don't think they will. I think
exactly.
It depends completely. You know what? One of the biggest mistakes I made recently, a while back. In fact, I was in cash quite a bit, so I was paying attention to the macros, having a lot of cash when the dip happened, but is paying too much attention, being too bearish. On the macro and not looking more at the micro. So I always say it's a market of stocks. In a stock market, we see the bigger overall picture, but it's a market of stocks. And so there's always, even in the worst times, there's always money to be made in the market somewhere. And if you're in generally a company that's not super overvalued, or it's in a hot area and they're growing, and it's going to look good for them over the next 3 to 5 years, pretty much, then it's okay, isn't it? Because you're going to have ups and downs. Yeah, I mean, there's a correction every year anyway, pretty much. Well, the correction is less than 10% or 10%. So that's going to happen. But yeah, we've gone through, listen, the fastest sell-off ever in history. We've experienced that. You've gone through a tough battle there. Paddy, you just started active investing with that, for a year or so when that happened. That March sell-off was the dash for cash, was the fastest sell-off in history ever.
Yeah, great.
So boys, you got that, you can get a tattoo, put it on your arm there. I survived the dash for cash crash. And just put a date on the tattoo there on your arm. You'd have that. Yeah.
And if we'd sold all of our portfolio during the dash and then bought it all back about 2 months later, we'd have made even more, wouldn't we?
But you can't do that, can you? I mean, you can,
no, I know.
But you know what I'm saying is, the thing is, right, people tend to worry about what's coming up, and often we over-worry. And like I said, I've gone through, financial crisis was scary because that was like the machines, or the oil, the cogs that push the money around. That was the heart of the financial system, almost having a heart attack. That was scary because really, when you look back on it, because if all the banks started failing, that was it. They lend to everyone, every business. That would be life support just pulled away from a person in intensive care and coma. That'd be really bad. So that was quite scary. Gone through that. Stock markets have risen higher. Even the .com boom, where everyone went nuts and they just popped. And now we had the entire globe shut down pretty much So we've got a couple of instances of big sell-offs. But you know what? That always happens. And the stock market over time has always risen. So generally I wouldn't get too worried about it. I'm just saying.
No, I suppose my point, what I was trying to say was that you could have made even more, but even just hanging on until for these stocks, or just weathering that storm. Yeah. And so even if there's a storm coming up now, with people going to sell because of the unlock potentially, we'll weather that and we go on go up higher further down the line, And
I wouldn't worry though, because literally now I've gone. Like I said, we've evolved, deliberately evolved, and the stocks I'm in now, it's a learning game. It's all about investing, right? And that's why everyone should get into it, because sooner or later it'll get you. It'll get you. And I got, Vanessa and Leo, who lived on the road from I got them into stock shares now, and they're texting me on rises this week saying, "Oh, brilliant!" And they wouldn't take it or leave it beforehand. But in the end, the market, it wakes, especially during lockdown, when people have no job, right, or they're just at furlough or something, the market is like a living, breathing animal. It's like a monster beast, caged up for the weekend, and it's literally ready to fire up at 8 o'clock. The RNS comes out, they inject the anabolic steroids into him on 7 a.m. He's in the cage for an hour, going, "Get me out! Get me out!" And then they open ding, 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 ding.
I was chatting to my shoe shine guy, and he was saying that he's really into it now as well.
Exactly.
He gets up in the morning, he's checking his app, he's looking at his RNSs.
Listen, 2 days a week, right, where, the monster, listen, they put put anaesthetic in the big beast and put him back in his cage, the market. But you can still then look at, look at stuff, and I love it. If it wasn't for that, I'd be bored. I'd probably be, I don't know, I'd probably be hanging from a lamppost somewhere. If it wasn't for the market, I genuinely look forward to the bell, the news, and the 7 a.m. the market opening. It's always active. There's always something going on there. It's an excellent hobby. You can increase your wealth. I think it should be taught in schools. I think it's a crime. It's not. It's one of the best things ever. Love it.
Yeah. I think you're a fan, yeah. No, I am as well.
It's like football, isn't it? For people who are really fanatic about football, they have once, twice a week, maybe when the season's up and running, they can look forward to games. The market's open and in fact, do you know what? If you're a football fan or a sports fan, you can look at the market all week, and then the weekend is sport. So you're constantly active, and you have to keep your mind active, in life. Otherwise, you just wither away. And I just love it. So but essentially, the stocks we hold at the moment, I think it's helped that sell-off we had has helped me refocus, reposition, and think, what do I want to invest in? Initially, we went through the period where you can upgrade your stocks to bigger stocks, and I think, no, I don't want that. I don't like bigger stocks. They're a bit boring, actually. I do like, one-story, small-cap stocks that can do multiples of where they are, and in hot areas, at the start of a journey. And to find that stock where it can start off at 10, 20 million market cap and become, say, 150, 200 million market cap. That's or £1 billion. That's the way you want to do, And I love that. And you can't do that with big stocks.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, do you know what? Listen, I'm right. You saw the news from Escapement, right? And on the story, I genuinely think, right, this is one of the stocks we've seen that was, when we first looked at it, it was like just below 7 million market cap. It had 4 million in cash. I think now I'm going to do a video on the weekend. And it's no exaggeration, and I'm not exaggerating this. This is before the hype comes into it, before a lockdown. I can see a road path here now to over a £1.50 stock, and they're 21 pence at the moment. And if you look at the company, they are a market leader. They got quality brand. They've got the best product out there in the market. They're the only leisure company expanding during COVID lockdowns. They did a cracking deal, 1 times EBITDA for Brussels and Paris. Escape rooms, plus 11 franchisees. That's phenomenal. They've got growth in the in digital business as well, and the play at home. This is one of those. It's very rare you can find a small cap stock below 10 million, because the bigger you go down, the more reward, the more risk, though. And generally, companies down that area aren't that aren't of quality. But this company is through and through, from his art, from his social media, to everything, to his product. If you look at the guys behind it, I chatted to actually Richard yesterday after things, and I was very impressed with that deal. And they're very professional. And Graham Bird, the CFO, they come from bigger companies. I mean, Richard used to work at Pret, and he was like in charge of rolling out, I don't know how many stores, loads of stores. But he said going from, where we've been from 5 to 10 stores is pretty much the hardest. And it's still hard, of course, finding good deals, but it's getting easier because of COVID. And they're one of the companies that's taken advantage of COVID because they had cash. And he said, but we are getting, like I said in the RNSs, we have opportunities now we wouldn't have had before COVID, because we are getting landlords approach us, and so it's us looking at them saying, no, we don't want you anymore, or we'll do this route. But I said, yeah, so we can actually pick quality sites. So I genuinely think, honestly, and I'm on the video of the weekend, I'll show you a chart and I'll explain why it's going to go from where it is right now up to over 150. It's just a matter of holding on. And digital, right? Digital's, I don't know, they did 230 grand pretty much in the last 3 months of the year. The margins of that is 80%.
Yeah.
That's 184.
Pretty good.
That's 184 grand EBITDA. On digital, you can do 20 times on that, and that's over 3 million worth of value there on that 3 month alone. That's just starting out.
It's just that kid, the blonde kid, wandering around with a GoPro instead.
Yeah.
No, they got a software. That's for small. If we wanted to do escape room thing, they do it like that with Zoom, and so have him there and the clues. But they've got a proper platform that they do it on. That's why they could host 347 people in one game, 57 games. That was one game. That's globally scalable. Margins at 80%. That's, and honestly, I know I've been banging on about this, but it's getting better the more I learn about it.
So at the moment, it's 25% of my portfolio.
Paddy, honestly, you can do very well in this. Just you'll have dips, of course you will.
So you're saying it should be more than 25%?
No, it will be. I'm saying it.
No, but you're saying that I should buy more.
No, I wouldn't say that, because there's risk with everything, and also where at the moment I can't see. There are other opportunities, of course, but I mean for longer term. I'm not talking about pop and drop new stocks now. I'm talking about longer term. I can't see. It's still only 17 million. Pretty much market cap. That's what it is. Honestly, in 5 years' time, it'd be worth 10 times that on the market cap alone.
But, so yeah, Paddy's point is really valid, isn't it, in terms of exposure? Because you can get carried away and go, I can now. The horizon of COVID and all that is slightly, hopefully slightly clearer. Things like that could start to work, and you go, okay, great. And you kind of go, right, put the farm on it. But you still got to keep a sense of normality and go, no. You've got to keep your exposure in check.
Yeah, I don't know.
Last week about risk when the portfolio is small. Is this the one where I put more in that actually transforms my portfolio into something that's a bit more?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm speaking. Yeah, Pat, listen, I'm speaking from a position of a fortunate position. No, I don't mean on escapement. I mean
full ownership.
Owning at least one of those sites.
But I'm speaking from a position. Yeah, but I own 3 million shares, right, in escapement. I'm not going to sell any. I'm pretty much it's 21 pence now. I got it about 7 pence. That's 2 bagged already. So I'm not going to sell any because I genuinely think it'll get to way over £1. And it may have dips because, of course, when the economy opens back up, of course, the revenue won't go straight back the way it was.
Then you're going to turn into Stewie, aren't you?
No, I'm not. Do you know what? I genuinely am not. I know, because I see it as a wealth, it'll transform my wealth. It will. And yours, you hold on. But every day, what I was going to say is, I have the fortunate position to have done quite well over the last 10 years where I can diversify, and it's still meaningful to me to be diversified. But when you start off and you're a smaller pot, you have to take a bit of a gamble if you want to really if you want to advance your wealth a little bit. So, but as far as I gamble on resource stocks. They're a lot more risky. And looking back now, so they are more volatile. So you can 10 bag quickly on hype and news, but it drops off very quickly. So you have to get out. But I think for an investment, 25% is a big chunk, but if you want to transform, I'm not going to give you any advice on that. It's up to you. I would say keep it in check, but that's from my perspective now because I can do that. But I mean, but there we are. I don't know. Do you know what? If you look at all the elements of it, they got growth, right? Whenever they opened, there was demand there, always. Now you've got to assume that's coming back, haven't you? Once the economy locks up. So if you assume that's
because there's always a new thing always has demand, isn't it? Because it's a new thing, so it's by its very nature kind of will have an interest, a curiosity amongst the population. People go, let's try that. Repeat business is the key, and obviously growing and finding more new people as well.
Do you see that Doctor Who thing?
Growth.
No. They got Doctor Who agreement. They've only just rolled it out. They started off as Cybermen, but the next one is Daleks because they got an agreement with BBC. Now, like I said, small independent, substandard quality escape rooms can't have that. The BBC wouldn't trust you with their jewel in the crown, pretty much, because Doctor Who has got a huge amount of following, massive following. In fact, James Stodd, isn't he? I was surprised how enthusiastic James Stodd was about Doctor Who. But there are a lot of people out there. There are a lot of people out there who love. No, but they love Doctor Who. They'll do anything Doctor Who. So yeah,
right.
So there will be people Doctor Who.
This knows James, but anyway, okay.
I know, but it doesn't matter. It's us. People listen. I'm sure that everyone knows someone who likes Doctor Who.
Okay. And so you singled out one person. But
I was surprised that James. And
I think it's more his kids are like.
Yeah, no, I thought that. No,
goes along with it.
No, Steve. That's the way he wants to portray it, right? But I remember being at Capitol when David Tennant and the girl came in. What's the girl? Who's now a comedian? Catherine Tate, isn't it? Yeah, came in and. He was bubbling over. He was frothing at the mouth, and he never ever asked for a picture with any celebrity, right? But he had one with David Tennant, and literally, I'm sure I saw something going on down there,
Right. Okay, so what was the conclusion is people
What I'm saying is...
Hold on. Human beings are fans of things.
Yeah, no, but you get fans and you get sci-fi fans, right?
Yeah, you get
sci-fi fans are the crazy fans of the fans. They're the fanatical fans. And they will go to every escape... Now, they're going to change them to Daleks. Now, there's probably going to be more of these kind of things in the pipeline. Because if you are the best and the best quality... There are, and you're on social media and all that stuff, and they get a lot of social media coverage. But you're going to do, I think, we'll do more deals like this, and also if everyone or adults went once to an escape room in the UK, escape room will be worth billions. You don't need that much of a market, honestly. Okay. It's like, and it's not new. But what I'm just saying it's an experiential spending is going up. People want more variety, So they'll try the odd, escape room. They'll try a bit of quad biking or whatever, or bowling or whatever. So that'll happen. It's enough to be sustainable. And beyond that, right? That game they did, digital game. Now, if you think about who has the type of company, right? Beyond lockdown, you've got global companies. The type of company that has 347 employees. In one game, that's a big company who want to look after their staff. Or the ESG, the environmental social governance part about looking after employees. That means team building days. They are very professional companies with across. Hang on, across lots of continents, right? With deep pockets. Those are quality companies that do regular clients as well. I think it's excellent. And the guys, if you speak to the guys behind, they're very sharp, very clever guys. And you'd be surprised that a company this small, but now they've taken a long time to get the product right. And Richard said we were criticised at the start for trying to get it right, being too fussy about getting it right. But now we're glad we did, because we've got people like Netflix and BBC coming to us. That doesn't happen with everyone. So, but I'm not saying it's bad. As an exposure risk, it's probably one of the best, safest plays you can play. But I would advise.
I feel fine with 25%. I just wondered whether to put more in.
Yeah, no, I would never advise someone to go chuck the farm on anything really, because there's always risk and there's always left field risk you can't see. But again, you have to weigh that up with compared to any other stock. It's probably a better risk than most. I think at this level, In
your opinion.
Yeah, of course, in my opinion. I mean, like now, they've just said 17 sites will, post-lockdown be EBITDA positive, cash generation, so they'll be profitable, pretty much. They've got enough cash. Look at the cash things. They're burning about 200k a month. They've got 2.7 million. So that's over 10 months. Well, in fact, what was it? A lot more than 10 months worth of cash. That's without earning anything. So
because part of their purchase this week is also a placing, wasn't there?
Yeah, and so, do you know what? Exactly. How many leisure companies can do a placing, no discount? That was a 4% discount, but that pretty much risen by 20% in the last 3 days. So that was literally no discount. A perfect placing. How many companies at this level can do a placing off the back of the place? And it was done for a reason, not to keep the lights on and pretend they're doing something. It was done for acquisitions, which is accretive to the cash and all that stuff.
Are there any other free franchisee holders around the world, or have they bought them all now?
No, I don't know, but that's got 11 things. They did the same in Dubai, you see. They bought the master franchise.
Who owns the American ones?
Well, the American ones, they're doing a deal with it. It's very exciting there. Do you know what? If you look at if you read through that, if you go all the way to the bottom, right, and read through that article or that trading update and the things, There's a very interesting thing about rollout of operator sites and US franchise. They filed its franchise disclosure document in the USA, allowing franchise sales to commence. Decision has been made to use Houston site as a master site, an education centre for North America, and instances of new generation of games. They've got a Discovery Day happening there when they to showcase the opportunities there. When they're hooked up with a big American company who specialise in franchisees, so they get American business guys coming along, buying franchise. There's also one here, right, about Australia. New contracts in Australia have been agreed for new games in the calendar. Hey, but there's one here. Talk about new products, and they talk about digital, and then they say, investment in infrastructure. They said there, work has commenced in the discovery phase for a project to enhance the company's e-commerce capability. I don't know what that is. They said, whilst a number of other projects to improve efficiency and improve scalability have been identified, the board intends to delay further work on these until COVID-19 lifted. But that one there, they said the work on software which allows games masters to manage multiple games at the same time was completed in the spring, and the software is now active in all the sites open since then. Work has commenced on the discovery phase for a project to enhance the company's e-commerce capability. I don't know what that is, but I've got things going on. And in fact, I just think there's lots more under the hood here when we start going, than what we see.
So it's clearly a policy, isn't it, to snap up some franchisee holders. Yeah. But how many of these global sites are franchises? Do you know?
I don't know, but it's basically they're saying if they get in America, and I remember Graham came on a while back. He said if we get 30 franchisees in America, it's not hard. He said that's $1 million in revenue, just from that, and we don't have to do anything. And that's they can buy extra. They can actually modular games now and sell them modular games.
It's $1 million in revenue, but what does that equate to in profit?
Well, it's high. It's high things. There's no capital expenditure on the franchise model, is there? The franchisee buys all this.
You mean it's revenue to them? That is pure profit to them?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So, and also they buy all the stuff then. They have to agree to buy all the stuff from their catalogue, basically. So all the games they buy from Escape Hunt. So,
right.
Which are modular and be transferred. So it's lots of things going on, I really like it. So if you just read that article, there's lots in there, and there's in that its update. It's very good. I mean, John Story's coming on the podcast on Monday. I only met John when we started talking about Gfinity, and he watched the video, and he contacted me through his broker, because the broker knows me, and he's made so much money from stocks and shares. It's unbelievable, and he's so sharp. And he just bought an extra 800. Him and related parties just bought an extra 800 grand's worth in this placing, and he owns 9.95% already. He's now at NED. So, but no, when I talked to him about,
so it's you and John that own the company.
No, when I talked about some of the deals he's done, it's phenomenal. Really?
So why is he on the podcast? What is he talking about?
Well, just because he owns lots of small cap stocks. Yeah. And I thought, well, come on, explain, John, why you have chucked an extra 800 grand into this, pretty much, so $500,000 of your own money and 300 grand of related money. But Canaccord are the biggest holders of Escape Hunt. Canaccord, a big broker.
Yeah.
So they're still in there. They're committed. They like it.
Are we allowed to talk about any other stocks today?
Yeah, go on. So this week, it's been much news out. I mean, a new high from Ilika, 255 goes out. That's very positive on the chart. What else? What else were you on to?
I was going to ask about Brandshield.
Yes.
I liked the look of that and your email around, and your video last weekend was good. And you made a good point on the video that obviously it's ridden sharply, so it wasn't time to jump in perhaps. But it then has come off the boil a little bit near the end of the week.
Yeah, there's a seller in there somewhere. I don't know. Whenever you get an RTO, or a company coming to market, there's always sellers in there because they've invested pre-market at a decent price, and they can take a quick profit. But also, if it's an RTO, which this was provision before, it was Two Shields Investments, and so they're an investment company. They were invested in Brandshield, and Brandshield's reversed takeover. So there's people holding, stock of Two Shields that weren't in there for Brandshield. They're in there for another investment, maybe they're exiting then. So, they've seen the rise. They said, "Well, I'll get out now." So,
so it's coming back down to where I had bought, where I think a lot of us were buying. So is this now? Is that the opportunity to actually start? If you're going to add more to your holding, is that But
you know what?
Got a level at which to add.
Well, listen, right. I've just come across another company, right, and I don't want to say anything about it for yet because I haven't done any research. But it's in a very hot area, and the hot area has been good. And some of the companies in this area have done so well, and the growth in one of these companies is massive. And the only thing I've got with Brandshield, I like it, right. I like what they do. But if you do and there is a lot of competition out there, but I don't know. In my mind, the fact that they've got big clients sets them apart from anywhere else. That says something to me, and that says they've got something that other people haven't, like Microsoft, Visa, Levi's.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I like it, but I mean, there is a lot of competition out there for cybersecurity. I just want to, so I'm going to hold for a while. I just want to, because they've not been around long, publicly. Okay. So I want to read some more of their news, before I scale into them a bit more.
Right. Okay.
The initial scaling on there, but also there's always other opportunities. I don't want to over dilute my holdings, because But yeah, no, I like it. I want to see their updates and see how much they've earned, because the growth has been very good, but it's from a low base. Can they continue that kind of growth?
Yeah. Okay.
So like I said, when you're scaling, it's a good thing it's scaling. If you start off small, you can always scale back out. If you've gone full on and chucked a load into it first time around, think, oh, hang on, the story isn't as I thought. It's hard work there, isn't it? You take a bigger loss, you have to get out or whatever. So that's why. Okay. I mean, always scaling all the time. Always scaling.
Yeah.
Anything? Polarean's risen. It's going back to its highs, isn't it? Paddy, that's your other one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really helpful.
So your portfolio is Escape Hunt and Polarean, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. It's interesting. We were saying last week how, I felt like I needed my portfolio to have a bit of a jump, so that not that it was a small amount of money, but to become an amount that was actually sort of like, okay, wow, this is actually more than a hobby now. And in the space of a week, it's pretty much, I'm sort of up 10% this week. So I'm up 100% now on where I was in March, which is insane.
Yeah. No, do you know what? Like I said, I keep saying this right, all the time, people, and people say this, right, that you need two ways of building your wealth, pretty much, isn't there? And I mean, I don't mean getting to stinking wealthy. I mean, building your wealth so you can retire comfortably. And that's generally
two ways legally.
Legally, we're talking about Pad, yeah.
That's it.
Because if you get caught drug dealing, your pension won't be good. Generally, and your lifestyle, pre-retirement age will be good. So owning a successful business or owning a share of a successful business, and that means investing. And people generally leave their investing or their pensions to other people. When, do you know what? You're getting an average return, on that. You can do better yourself. It takes maybe 5 years of learning, pretty much 5-6 years, and you get better. And even on funds, buying funds that a fund manager would buy for you but charge you for it. It just takes a little bit of research. That's all. I'd say to anyone, buy that Vanguard, 100% equity fund. You see the mainstream news saying big sells, give it 3 days, the magic 3-day rule. And then start scaling into it a bit more, and you outperform your fund manager who would have been investing for you, and you build a nice pot. That's why I think investing is so important. Take control of your financial destiny. You can retire with a decent amount. Do you know? I looked up 1 in 6 people at the age of 55 have no pension savings. And I think, what? Wow. What do you intend to do? It nothing worse. As you get older, you realise life gets a bit harder. You get achier. Less. You can't do stuff as easy as before. What you don't want is be struggling for money when you're old and thinking, can I put the eating on, or can I have a nice meal? You don't want that. You want to be going on nice holidays and nice sunny climates. So I'm sick of this weather. I'm off. That's what you want to be doing. So, and investing and do that. Build your own wealth. Financial freedom is so important. I really think.
Speaking of that, you still putting a bit of money into your Vanguard every month?
No, not yet, because I will probably, when I get a bit closer to retirement. But it's got a stage. Where I'm
pretty
an investor.
Close.
I'm an investor. Right? No, I'm an investor. So, and I've been doing it for over 20 years. So I can earn more from individual stocks than I can from the Vanguard fund. But most people who've got proper jobs, and can't spend as much time as me, looking at stocks and shares all the time, need a more passive investment, don't they? So,
do you pull your money out of your Vanguard then?
Yeah. I'm glad I did, because like I said, the portfolio's done very well in the last year. So yes, I pull it out. But I would still advise you to trickle in every month, put a bit in every month, because that's.
Selling mine was a good thing to do.
Yeah. I suppose it's a bit risk and reward.
It was the time, though, more than anything, wasn't it? I think, rather than actually doing it.
Yeah. It's about risk and reward, isn't it? Really, it's like when you. But we are a bit more active than most people. I'd suggest to anyone buying, a Vanguard fund rather than putting it in a bank or anything else. And
I think that's been the key thing, being more active over the last maybe 3-4 months, like just making some decisions and selling stuff. That's definitely been helpful. Like I got rid of SO4, which I may come back to regret, but
where is it?
Like it didn't sit well with me in terms of what they were doing environmentally, but also like resource stocks. Like that's a bit of a they were messing around a bit, weren't they?
That chart is starting to look. It's coming up. Well, I don't know if it may fail at the 200-day moving average, but it's starting. It's seen the bottom there, isn't it? It's got 26 pence. I think it makes a climb towards March. That's
what Paddy wanted to hear.
Yeah, no, but I'm fine with that. I just making some quick decisions, like move on. Next.
Yeah, do you know what? That's true. Never look back. I know Pete loves to, but given the daily updates on Argo blockchain and Powerhouse energy every day in the WhatsApp group. But it was quite funny this week, and sorry, I was genuinely thinking of you, Steve, when I said, Steve, you got like 40% exposure to Gfinity, didn't he? And I said, Steve, even though I like Gfinity, right? I think you're overexposed a little bit in one stock.
You were really nagging him to sell.
I wasn't.
And literally within a week, what happens?
Steve said...
it's like 2 days.
Steve said, I know it's going to happen. If I sell it, it'll go up. And literally...
How much stock did you have, Steve? Were you holding half the company? Is that why it was so stagnant?
Yeah, that's it. But the thing is, right, we kept banging his head in that 4.5 pence area all the time. Right? I think it'll break through sooner or later because it's higher. It's series of higher lows. It was building. The pressure was building. It was like shaking a bottle, basically. And eventually, a couple of days after Steve sold, it popped out and did like what? 18% rise in one day. Broke out of that range. It's now in a new range. So it'll go sideways and come back a bit now.
To be fair, as I said, it didn't bother me at the beginning because you were right. I was overexposed, and it could have gone the other way, and I would have kicked myself if it had gone the other way. So, and it has done many times in the past before. The annoying thing is I worked out how much more money I would have earned over the last week if I hadn't have taken out, and that made me be a little bit depressed, to be honest with you. But never mind.
Could have got some new teeth.
Could have got more than that.
I know, but that the thing is that happens. I've lost, like I said, some of the biggest rises I never had was in Powerhouse energy and of Argo blockchain. But there we are.
Yeah, exactly. Steve, I sold Argo blockchain at a loss. Remember that?
Yeah, true. Do you know what? I'd rather not make money than lose money. So I think that's the way to look at it.
I'd rather not make money than lose money. That's a good point, Steve. That's good. Every now and again, Steve comes up with something very sensible. I'd rather not make money.
Yeah, because it's not like there are 3 options, aren't there? There's
break even. Money. Basically, the easy way to say that. I prefer to break even than lose money. Yeah, that's exactly. It makes sense. Sometimes you got to make these decisions, and you can guarantee pretty much when you do, it'll go against you. But like I said, it dropped. It opened up again on Friday, didn't it? And it came back a little bit. So we're heading towards 5.5. I thought, oh no, this is going to go berserk now. But it didn't. It calmed down. But
can I just spin that though? What Steve's saying there, because I don't know if I agree with that. Because take my Argo blockchain experience. The amount of money that I didn't make, that hurts a lot more than if I'd lost it all, lost the stake. Like the stake's whatever. Like the stake was only about 5% of my portfolio, or 3%, which is but that's the point of not being overexposed. You've only got a little bit.
I think what's interesting for me, I think you guys are dealing with like a bigger chunk of money than I am. So for me, when these things go down a little bit, it's like whatever. But the pain in Steve's voice there and your voice talking about Argo, like I think that once the money goes up a little bit. Yeah, the pain
it's all relative though, isn't it? It's percentages, isn't it? So Justin's.
I know, but if I lose half my stake in one of these things, it's we're talking hundreds of pounds. Whereas,
I don't intend to. That's where research comes in. I don't intend to lose half my stake in it because hopefully these companies are generating cash in some way or revenue, and they're getting better and they're improving stories. So and not overvalued. I mean, look at Ilika. The reason why on traditional metrics that was overvalued anyway. Right, but then you compare it to a peer in America, and it's super undervalued. So like I said, QuantumScape is valued at $20 billion, and you think, well, they're the same level as as Ilika, but they're valued at what, 300 million now. So yeah, even though on traditional metrics is overvalued, they're not compared to their peers.
All of these stocks that we're talking about, and it's a good position to be in because and going back to the whole macro picture thing, they're not insulated against that, but they're on their own kind of trajectory, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but remember this.
It comes down to exposure, doesn't it? So it's like where Paddy's saying about 25% in escape hunt, you go, yeah, you can get to 30, 40, 50%, but then Ilika and you've got Gfinity and others that we're talking about that go, well, you want to have a sizable chunk in them as well. So
yeah, exactly. So what you don't want,
diversifying the risk, isn't it?
Yeah. Because what you don't want is like hopefully when one part of your portfolio takes a bit of a temporary knocking, another part will either stay there or rise up. And that way, the portfolio value won't drop massively. And that's what I said. If you have one stock and it gets a bit of bad news and it drops by half, you've lost half your value. You don't want that. So you have two stocks equally portioned, and one of them drops by half. It's only 25% you've lost. So again, that's diversifying. How much risk and reward do you want to take on? And I say between 5 and 10 stocks. You don't need any more than that. And if you want more than that, buy a fund. Or in fact, run a fund alongside yours and have less stocks. That's a good way to diversify. Like, you can have 3 stocks if you want, but it's only hot areas. Like if you look at those companies just mentioned, they've got one thing in common, and they're in very hot areas like Bitcoin, clean energy, Powerhouse, and thing. And so when you're looking for companies, right, there's hot areas, and they're going to be hot for a long time. They're not just a flash in the pan fad. People obviously probably said crypto was a flash in the pan fad. But I'm looking now back at crypto thinking, okay, I'm going to wait till it cools off because Henry, my nephew, has been talking about, crypto and all this stuff. And he's been, I said,
Henry? How old's Henry now?
He's about 19,
35.
Yeah. But he's been trying to buy crypto stuff, and he's talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin. I said, listen, I wouldn't buy it up here. There'll be other times. And literally by coincidence, he said, you should not buy some more Ethereum? I said, I would buy Ethereum, yeah, but not here. And literally, the day after I said that, it dropped by 20% the next day. And I said, and I was saying, look at I showed him a picture of a chart. I said, look, the RSI is, coming back down, it's rolling over. The momentum is gone a little bit for now. So,
was he like, Uncle Justin, you're a genius?
No, I must have seemed like it to him then, but no, I genuinely think these some of these. If you look at Ethereum and Polkadot and stuff like that, they have a bigger role to play, going forward as far as
Is there any way of actually working out where cryptocurrency is going, or is it literally just gambling? From what I can see.
What do you mean where it's going? No. Listen, decentralized finance.
Can you look at this because obviously there's a business. You can look at a business and you can look at everything where it's going. But with Bitcoin, is there any way of predicting, investing or I don't know? What's your opinion on it?
Well, no, certainly. Yeah, if you look at the big thing at the moment is DeFi, right? Decentralized finance. It's the way of dealing and buying and selling or owning your own money basically without having a central bank or a bank, being the middleman taking cuts. But it doesn't work on trust. It basically works on ledgers where everything's accountable. I can see that being big. It's a way going. If you look at inflation in central banks and the distrust going forward in that thing, I think DeFi is going to be massive. And Ethereum is pretty much like the internet of that. So all the apps created pretty much at the moment are using Ethereum as the platform. And that's like a tenth. What's the market cap of that compared to Bitcoin? Bitcoin is like the gold. It's like a store of value. It's very, you can put them against each other really. Like Bitcoin is the gold. It's not usable. You don't want to spend it or use the money. But it's now an asset. People are using that as an asset, and it's a rising value.
You can use it in newsagents in Shoreditch.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so volatile at the moment. You could buy something today, and then you realise next year that newspaper you bought, you paid $1,000 for it because it's gone up in price so much. So people are not going to use it to buy stuff, they use it to store value. But then you've got Ethereum, which is things are built on, apps. These dApps are built on decentralized apps. They're all built using Ethereum. So that can be, and then they're saying Polkadot is now the Ethereum killer. They're saying that's the next new one that could take over from Ethereum. So there are ones that are very credible. And
Pat, matter of interest. So you being serious? Your local post office, or did you actually buy things with Bitcoin? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you went in to buy a newspaper, how much would that newspaper cost in Bitcoin? Because obviously it's like $40,000 of Bitcoin.
Yeah, but
you can cut them up into bits, can't you?
So is it like 0.0000001 whatever it is?
Two, 3.
It's just like you can buy stuff in euros in London as well. So they take you to the till and they just tell you what the price is in euros.
But it's not. But Bitcoin's not going to be used for that, Steve. It's like gold, right? You can buy stuff for gold, can't you? Really, in theory. But you wouldn't buy stuff for gold because there's no other monetary form. So it's more now a storage, an asset that you invest in. So it's a bit like that. But but it's like the first Bitcoin purchase was for a pizza, a slice of pizza. Now that pizza is worth 10 grand. That he paid 10 grand for that pizza, a slice of pizza. So.
The pizza's not worth 10 grand.
No, that's the equivalent of how much you spent back then. Yeah. So that's the equivalent.
I assume they ate the pizza, so it doesn't exist anymore.
No, exactly. But when you realise, when guys said invest, buy some in Bitcoin, I said, no, don't buy anything with Bitcoin. Just hold it. Just keep it as a store of value because it'll go up. If you buy something with now, like that guy now has kicked himself that he's probably spent 10 grand on a pizza. If you just saved that Bitcoin and not spent it on that pizza, that's how much it'd be worth. So a slice of pizza. So that's what I'm saying. You don't spend it on anything because it could be worth a lot more just holding on to it. Anyway, anything else, boys? Anything else we're talking about? Trackwise had an update. It dropped by 15% at the start. Pete did say, not a good update. Now, odd, because I thought that update...
No, I did, yeah, okay.
So I thought the update wasn't... They said, the thing is, companies should never say, right, while revenue is lower than expected, most people don't know what is expected in the market. Most private investors don't know what is expected. Maybe your broker does and you do, but... They said the loss was because of, COVID, that shut down their manufacturing plant. Of course you do. And so it's not their fault. They had orders, they couldn't fulfill them, is all. So it's been delayed rather than, disappeared.
Also, I think there's definitely some AI involved in reading RNSs, isn't there? Like, they're scanning them for keywords. So if you include the word lower or unexpected, then suddenly it's just automatically going to trigger a sell-off.
Yeah, it's a markdown.
Don't do that.
The market makers, exactly, don't do that. Exactly, because essentially the revenues were 6.1 million, right? Now, last year it was 2.9 million. That's a 110% increase. Now, if you put that in there, 110% increase in revenue despite COVID lockdown, shutdown, that'd be a lot better. And also, they got an order for 38 million from an EV OEM. That's going to, and they got a lot more in the pipeline. And there's lots of positive in there saying our pipeline is, bursting, stocking up, bursting. It's like a big zit full of pus. It's bursting with. It's never been so big, this zit. And so it's basically the number of potential customers and opportunities ahead of us. It's longer term project, it's massively big. But it's wrongly worded. Poor writing of an RNS that, and sometimes. Yeah. That's a judgment on the company as well, and the Nomad. And if you look at Escapement again, go back to that, they write good RNSs. And Paddy said this, and that shows something about the management. And the deal making they've done, that tells you a bit more about the management. So it's all these little giveaways, So, poor writing.
They're better at spin,
But no. They're looking, because the thing is, they've basically made that negative. When it's not negative, the growth is...
I know.
Most companies would love 110% revenue growth, and like a big order from OEM. Why aren't you saying that? That's factual. Yeah. It's not lying. It's fact. And so I don't know. They've managed to basically dilute the fact they've grown by 110% into like we're going to be lower than expected. Oh God, heaven's sake!
It dropped like almost 20% in the morning, didn't it? And then it clawed some back.
Yeah, okay. It ended up 6% down. Yeah, but again, if anything, this company fundamentally is better than Ilika. At the moment. But Ilika's got all the hype because they're in solid-state batteries. But this company is a supplier to the EV.
Volatile.
Yeah. But exciting, though. Exciting, yeah.
Yeah, it's good to watch all of these stocks, isn't it? It is exciting.
Yeah. And listen, another stock I've taken, like I said, I did buy, I haven't told you the stock, right? But I did buy a little bit. Just a little bit of this other stock, right? Just a little bit. I haven't much cash. But I'm looking into it. And I quite like it, but there's one thing I don't like about it. But that can be resolved, I think. But
a massive loss.
I may reveal it later. Okay. Not yet. So,
are you going to tell us or
no? Not now.
Yes.
No.
It's Paddy says it's Quasar.
It's Hollywood Bowl.
I said there's a hot new stock I've just looked at, boys, and Paddy says it's Quasar. No, it's not Quasar. It's a lot more techy than that and bigger. It's one of the hot trends. I didn't think about it until when I was doing that video on hot trends. I didn't even think about it. I thought, God, that is and it's some of the stocks in this area have gone bananas.
E-scooter.
No, it's not e-scooter. No.
Okay.
No. Anything else happening, boys? Anything else happening exciting in your lives? What are you doing today?
Finish the patio.
Finish the patio. Good. It's got
patio pad.
Patio pad.
The patio.
Hey, you should put that on there. Actually, Pete, look, Pete, maybe you should start an agency, a Dropportunity. Someone actually came up with Dipportunity on. I said no. I think they're trying to say Dropportunity, or they're trying to coin their own phrase. But Dipportunity is not the same as Dropportunity. No, because opportunity, Dipportunity. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because opportunity is a word. Yeah.
No, exactly. Opportunity is a word. Just put a DI in front of it. Dropportunity.
That's how it works. Yeah. And patio and patio.
No, patio. See, maybe you should start an agency, Pete. If you want a catchy word, I'll come up with it for you. People can pay you thousands just to sit down and think of the things. What's happening in your life, Pete? Are you actually talking to anyone, Pete? Or do you go to work? What's happening there?
Yeah, I talk to lots of people every day, yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
No, but seriously, is it probably other people, right? You are a single fella, you work remotely. Who do you see anyone at the moment? Do you miss that or not?
Oh, you mean physically see people? Yeah. No. Speak to lots of people via the magic of Zoom and Teams and all the rest of it. So,
but it helps, doesn't it? Because I thought when I went from working at the radio station with people and working in office on my own, I thought I'd be lonely. But because I talk to people on Skype and stuff every day, and then I don't get that lonely. I don't feel the need to hug people anyway. I'm not one of those people. I hate that. When that started coming in, people started hugging and kissing, and you barely know them. I thought, I don't want to do that. Sorry. Right. And that's part of the reason the pandemic's here, you know?
Well, I see more people now than I would, than when we'd probably go to the office, you know?
But what I'm saying is, in going back, the economy will go back, not normal again, the new normal, I hate that phrase, but there will be people, going back. I mean, like I said, even Vox, we used to have an office in London. Vox don't have an office in London anymore. I never used to go in there anyway, but and lots of companies like that, in fact, Escape are the same. They're not going to have a central office. Many companies now are not going to have a central office, are they? They're just going to have, will you be going back to that, though?
No, and to be honest, we've grown in the last year, so we can't actually all fit in the office. And people have moved to other parts of the UK, and so we've got so that's why it's
changed, isn't it? The economy is changing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we still recording? Is this still?
Oh, sorry, sorry, yeah.
No, that's fine. Like, is this still the podcast or not?
I don't know.
Are we going to chop this out?
I was just about to swear. So
okay. Anyway, and anything else? We've been on long enough. Over an hour. That's plenty.
I think that's enough. Yeah. No one's listening anyway, so even if we are recording.
Steve, sorry, one more thing. Steve, I only saw a bit of your Twitch of DJing last night, but I blame it on you. Do you know why I blame it on you?
Go on then.
Because you recommended Serpent. And we were watching, me and my missus, every Friday night, we sit down for a couple of drinks and we watch a drama we enjoy together, which is hard to find one. It's surprising. But we got into Serpent and I saw your thing on WhatsApp. And I got it's good. I love dramas based on a true story. As you get older, you think, I don't want this fantasy wishy-washy stuff. I want real stuff. This is about a guy basically killing people in Bangkok, tourists and all that stuff. Yeah, for drug and yes, good. We're watching it. I think you'd like it, Pad.
I recommended it to a few people, and the thing they didn't like was the amount of vomit. And I was like, I didn't really think about that. Okay, whatever.
I didn't see that vomit. In fact, Steve mentioned vomit in his WhatsApp yesterday, trying to buy vomit by Harry and Larry. I said, don't buy vomit by Harry and Larry, Steve. They'll sell you it, though, if they can. Oh, Steve's after vomit now. Have you got any vomit there, Larry?
What's the ticker?
Yeah, vom.
What's the sicker? Anyway, right.
That's worth watching. Any other recommendations before we go?
No, I've been watching that.
Okay. No, not a fan.
Yeah, MasterChef has finished now, so there's nothing.
Yeah, give Serpent a go, Pad. You'll like it.
Yeah, I have to. I don't know if it'll live up to MasterChef.
I've got a habit now on Netflix where I watch about 20 minutes. The films they make themselves, they're generally pretty bad, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I usually get about 20 minutes in and then I give up. And there was one last night. It's got, I don't know what the guy's name. He was in Avengers, and he's some sort of like see-through robot.
Oh, that was a slightly better one, I thought. The budget, at least the budget was all right.
See-through robots. Doesn't sound better.
I got to the bit where the orphanage owner was also an arms dealer, and I just I have no idea what's going on here, so I gave up. And it will just sit there for eternity now on the continue watching page.
Yeah, that's what annoys me. They must realise. They must. What they must do is they must realise. They do actually, because they bring out new things, don't they? But if you haven't watched that thing, you haven't continued watching it after like a week. Maybe 2 weeks to get rid of it. I don't want to see it anymore.
Yeah.
What's wrong? What you should be doing? What I'd love to do is go into someone's house.
I'm glad that doesn't come up on your search history on Google, because that would.
That's evil, though. Hey, do you know what I'd like to do is go into someone's house like you, Steve, and like all the stuff I know you hate. on your Netflix while you're upstairs having a wee or something, and you come down and everything's suggested to you. I don't like this rubbish. Why are they suggesting this to me? That's the next get together thing. When lockdown happens, we'll it's one of the things we do.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
can't wait.
Lovely. Have a nice weekend, boys. Speaking next week.
Bye. Bye.
The Weekend Podcast on Vox Markets with Justin, Peter and Steve. Nothing in this podcast is intended as investment advice, and the people in this podcast may hold positions in the stocks they talk about. Do not buy anything based solely on a tip or recommendation. Please do your own research.